It looks like, again, this is one of these negotiations that try to avoid a partial shutdown where nothing is decided till everything is decided. But it looks like there's a determination on Chuck Schumer's part and the White House's part to reach a deal, contrary to what Senator Thune was saying, I think, yesterday, which is they didn't want to reopen up the appropriations package required, which will necessitate the House acting again. But it appears that's where they're headed. Carl Host of the New York Times, one of the people ahead on the story, Trump and Schumer moved towards possible deal to avert a shutdown. The sequencing here is the Republicans are going to have to accept some policy demands of the Democrats, some of which go too far for Republicans. For instance, there's opposition to saying ICE agents can't wear masks. That's one of the things the Democrats are demanding that may be a sticking point. Also, the question of whether they need to have a judicial warrants as opposed to administrative warrants to go in. So it's a pretty big list of things. But it appears that there may be a deal, but that will necessitate a vote in the House, which probably can't occur till Monday. That's, I believe, where most people think this is headed in terms of the players. Kevin, do you think that's where we'll get some sort of Senate deal, passage in the Senate, House passage Monday?
Yeah, 100%. And I think that's why you're seeing the change in tone just from Thune in the last 24 hours. He's really kind of deflecting all questions to the administration. He needs the cover of the president engaging on this to get his members in line, especially when it comes to the House, right? We're going to have a special election this Saturday in Texas for Sylvester Turner's seat. So the margins for Mike Johnson get even smaller coming into Monday. And I think Johnson needs the president to engage on this too, provide cover to accept this. He's already seeing some indications from the Freedom Caucus and others. If you're going to open this up, we want changes as well in terms of the DHS policy when it comes to ICE. So I do think, like you just laid out, is likely the process that's going to happen, Mark.
Larry?
I think it's more likely, I don't know why, but my instinct tells me that they're going to split DHS out and take their time on that and pass everything but DHS.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, unless you're hearing otherwise.
No, they
With
may
a
do-
stopgap, Larry, do you think, for DHS?
Yeah, I think so. And then they can dive a little deeper into DHS, and that wouldn't require the House coming right back, I don't think. They might need the House back. But the judicial warrant thing is a non-starter. That's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
That's amnesty by another name. The mask thing, let's see. Body cam. Republicans are fine with it because one of the demands is to add body cams for the agents, and Republicans seem okay with that.
Yeah, it's going to be an
I think
interesting. Go ahead, Kevin.
The biggest stumbling block is the warrants, even more so than the mask, to your point, Larry.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting choice for Schumer because Democrats, we've talked about this before, they're fired up on the principles. They're really emotionally and intellectually offended about what's happened, but they also see the politics of this. And there's all these memos floating around from Democratic strategists and pollsters saying we're on offense, we've reclaimed immigration as an issue, don't let up. But they're not going to get a whole loaf. They don't have the president so much over a barrel, and the president can say to them, "I can't deliver the House if you insist on everything." So I think there's going to come a gut check in the next 3 days where Senator Schumer is going to have to decide: does he want a victory, a policy victory of some sort, but does not include the full list that he had that he put forward? I think the ball's going to be in his court at that point. It's going to be an interesting thing. One other Polymarket I want to show you. This 122. Will there be a government shutdown on Saturday, which is the deadline, Saturday at 12:01 a.m. 122, will there be a shutdown? 55% chance, according to Polymarket wagers. You can see that the chances have gone up a little bit, but way down since midnight. And I think bettors were reading Carl Holz's story, which posted. So it went down, but now a little back up as I think people think through, just because the White House and Schumer are talking doesn't mean their deal. So a little bit better than 50% chance, according to Polymarket wagers, that there will be a shutdown. Of course, there could be a shutdown Saturday, but then solved by Monday. Okay.
With the snow and the ice, it feels like it's shut down anyway.
Yeah, I hear you.
No one's moving around town.
They say that something that's easy is like a walk in the park. Well, easier than a walk in the park, hit the subscribe button, be part of the two-way community, never miss an episode, be part of our conversations. Thank you for your service to America.
And don't forget, you can now listen to the morning meeting and Two-Way Tonight on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.